Hey crew, well Hollywood here. Today I'm going to take you through um, my build of my Dodge Ute. It's actually a VF Valiant Ute, but the Dodges, they came out, the base model came out as they called it a Dodge Ute. But yeah, it's a 1970 VF Valiant Ute basically. When I bought it off an auction site. So, farm auction site actually. It actually already sold, but somebody didn't come up with the money. So I got talking to the auctioneer, and before it went up for auction, I ended up buying it before it went to auction again. So I was lucky enough to pick it up. It was a pretty good car. Like the paint's pretty average on it. So yeah, it's flaking off bits and pieces. Whoever painted it. They basically just didn't prep it and just put another kind of coat of paint over it. So, but yeah, it's got no rust. I was lucky. I bought it online, and I was thinking, oh shit, what have I bought here? I had a few photos, but not a lot. So I just got talking to the owner, and yeah, he kind of convinced me that it was a good ute. So yeah, it turned up on the truck, on the tilt truck, and first thing I went out there, I went out, had a look underneath it while it was on the tilt truck, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. But yeah, no, it was good. It's all solid. Everything's been done. Like these Valiants, near the steering box, they have a bit of rust that goes through into the steering box, down on the driver's side here. So that already been done. Somebody kind of spent the money and done that, which is awesome. And yeah, so it's a pretty good solid ute. So it had a 265 in it. I'm not a fan of 6 cylinders in muscle cars, but other people are, and that's all good. So yeah, basically I had it for a while. I helped my mate Steve. He helped me pull out the engine and the box and the diff, and sold all that. So yeah, that's gone, and then I kind of waited around for the boys at DNK Performance, Darren, Corey, Wes. So those boys there, they helped me do the conversion. So they pretty much did the conversion. I did a little bit of wiring and stuff like that because I used to be an auto electrician like another moon ago, 25 years ago. Yeah, so I still remember a little bit. But yeah, so basically this car has got an LS2. It's out of a 2015, ironically a VF Commodore. Yeah, VF Valiant and VF Commodore. So yeah, so it was a stock engine, done about, I think it was like either 67 or 87,000 Ks. So not a lot of Ks. I think it was out of a crashed ute, and my mate Shay bought the engine a while ago to put in his ski boat, but he didn't end up using it because he sold the boat. So I've had a lot of Mopars and small blocks, big blocks, and I always wanted to do an LS in a Valiant. A mate, Dan Ward, he did one in a sedan, and he got it going pretty good. It was a turbo LS, but yeah, he was running the 8s. So I thought, yeah, why not? I'll just do a NA one. Thought about running turbo, but kind of thought I'll just do the NA. I think you can get pretty good horsepower out of a NA LS anyway. So essentially, the build is this build here. Yeah, so it's an LS2. It's got a cam trunnion upgrade. I think it's got pretty much the biggest cam you can get with a stock bottom end. So I kept the stock bottom end, didn't even pull it apart, just left it as is. Darren did that for me, and basically he did all the new seals, trunnion upgrade, the cam. I sent the heads off to Tremaniac, which is down south side in Brisbane here. So I sent them off to him. He CNC ported them, and I think I took about 30 thou off them. Get a bit more compression. I think the compression's about think it's like 10.8 to 1. Yeah, so it's not huge compression, but it's enough. And yeah, so basically I got the LS2. I couldn't find a case for a transmission for a turbo 350. Now I wanted to run a turbo 350. It's 3-speed. This is an NA car. Basically, I was advised that, you know, if you run an NA, turbo 350 is the way to go for this type of scenario. So yeah, I ordered one off VPW. It's got a tram brake on it. I think it's rated about 750 horsepower flywheel. So yeah, so I got that sorted, and then Wardy, Dan Ward, he built a Ford Explorer 8.8 diff for it. The good thing about those is they fit straight into, they're the same kind of width as a standard Valiant. So I want to try and keep that same kind of standard width. That way you can pull it out and put it into another Valiant if you wanted to. It's got disc brakes on the back, standard, has a 3.7 ratio ring in the diff. So that's what I wanted to start off with and see how I go with that. I might go to 3.9 or 410s or whatever they come in with the Ford Explorers. So yeah, got that turbo 350, the LS. Rod shop, Castlemaine Rod Shop, they actually make a fair bit for converting LSs to Valiants. They do a starter motor relocation because it's too tight on where the not power steering, but the steering box is on these. So as you can see on the driver's side, it's pretty tight. There's not a lot of room in there. So yeah, so the starter relocation is down there. Yeah, probably can't see it real good, but yeah, so they move the starter over to the other side, over to the passenger side. So yeah, it's just like a plate that you bolt onto the back of the engine, and yeah, it moves the starter over. So yeah, Rod Shop do that. They also do the engine mounts. So the engine mounts are really good because it makes the engine sit quite low. Yeah, so, which is really good. There's plenty of room for a supercharger. Yeah. So yeah, and they also do whatever transmission you want. So on Turbo 350, obviously, so they do the mounts for that. And I think that was about it from Rod Shop. Also, my mate up in Bundy, I'm from Bundaberg originally, and Mick McDonald, shout out to you, Bruss. Yeah, he actually suggested this radiator, which it's an eBay radiator. He's put that in a lot of tough Mopars and never had any heating issues. I mean, nearly every Mopar I've had has always kind of heated up. Mainly on the highway, which is kind of odd because most cars kind of overheat around town, but it's mainly on the highway. So yeah, so I got that eBay radiator, and also the Falcon EL twin thermos. So they work really, really good. That combo, that radiator and EL Falcon thermo combo works an absolute treat. So yeah, if you want to if you want any info on those things, the radiator was only like, at the time it was $380. I think they're now $410 or something like that. So it's cheap radiator. And considering on my charger up on the wall here, I spent like over $2,000 on a radiator and still overheated. So, but yeah, this combo works a treat, and it's so cheap. So yeah, and what else have I done? I've done the Willwood brakes. So the front brakes here. Got the front discs here. So Willwoods. I've obviously got the discs on the diff on the rear, and I've got the Willwood master cylinder. So yeah. So it's not boosted brakes. It's just kind of standard brakes, unboosted, but it works good. like I actually don't really like. I had boosted brakes on my Charger, and yeah, the Charger was probably a bit more touchy on the pedal, but this pulls up real good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, and yeah, it all works good. Thanks to D&K Solutions, thanks Darren and crew. Yeah, actually, the good thing about this car too is, well, I put a bang shifter in it. So the bang shift shifter, you can see here, it works awesome. Yeah, it's fantastic. Also, Smithy's Custom Fabs, he made up this box that the shifter sits on, so you can get it the right height. So your hands right here, boom, 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 you know, like boom, 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 bam, 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 bam. Yeah, anyway, yeah, you get the drift. So yeah, thanks Smithy for that. And yeah, if you want the details of him, just give us a message or something. Shout out. Also, Darren suggested this little computer. For now, I'm just using this. It's EDS. It's from Forward Drive Supercenter. So you just plug it straight into the computer, and it gives you all the, you know, your temp and kind of air temp. What else? You know, your RPM. Pretty much everything from the computer. It gives you that. So it reads out about 4 different inputs at once. It's tiny, so you actually need to get, you know, a tacho so you can see what you're doing when you're changing gears. But I'm probably going to get the Power Tunes dash. It's like a dash that's about $750. Plugs it straight into the computer again. But I'm going to mount it up here, and that'll give me everything. It's got a whole, you know, different visualizations. One for road, one for racing. I think there's about 4 or 5 different kind of, you know, digital kind of tachos and different displays. Yeah, so that'll be really good. But for now, I've just got this computer here, and I've also got, you know, this I think they're like $40, these little kind of boxes that just give you your speed. So I've just got that for now, but I'm going to upgrade that I'll take them both out, and then I'll put the Power Tune dash in. Yeah, so another good thing is this car came with the seats already done and the door skins. So the door skins and the seats were already done. The carpet wasn't in, but I actually bought that carpet. I can't remember where I bought it from, but if you want to know, I can just yell out. I installed the carpet. I also put some you know, the sound deadener in, just for to keep the heat away a little bit and make it a bit quieter. Also installed just a fire extinguisher there. Yeah, look, I haven't had a car go up in flames yet, but I never want it to happen. So, and if it does happen, at least I've got something accessible that I can just quickly pull out and hopefully put it out. So yeah, I've had a few mates go up in flames before, and it's not pretty. Another thing I've done too is I've installed there's a little button here. I've installed a Gravel Rash audio system. Big shout out to Gravel Rash. So you just have a box underneath the dash, and you just wire it up to ignition. Put speakers in. He actually makes speakers for all different cars. So he makes speakers for Valiants, Fords, Holdens, like all old school cars. So he makes they fit perfectly. So you just screw them in, connect it up to the box, and it all works off your phone. So you just I run Spotify, so I just play everything off Spotify on my phone. I've also got a little phone holder here. Yeah, it just makes it easy, I suppose. But yeah, so the intent, like the dash is really average, but I'm just going to leave it that way. I think it looks kind of cool, but everybody to their own, I suppose. Yeah, so I just did all the sound deadening, installed the carpet. I'll wire up the light on this shifter. Because I'm an ex-auto electrician, you know, these old school cars are so easy to play on, so I pretty much wired everything up here. I've got the tram brake here too. I've got a little button that I just put up on here recently, so I connect that when I'm racing. There's no point kind of running the tram brake on the street, but yeah, so I'll just connect that to the. I've got this here, which is just a cable. I don't leave it connected all the time because it's a bit of a pain in the ass, kind of turning, parking and turning corners with this cord kind of wrapping around the column. But for racing, I'll plug it in, and yeah, I've never had a car with a tram brake before, so I've never even hit it yet. But yeah, it won't be too long before I do, and we'll see what happens. I'll probably start racing off the foot brake first because I'm used to that, and then just see how it leaves. And if it leaves all right and it doesn't kind of go crazy on me, then I'll end up giving the tram brake a go, and hopefully, hopefully, makes a bit of a difference and gets that 60 foot a bit better. But yeah, I bought the gearbox thinking, I just bought it for the horsepower rating, and this is a manualised gearbox, so it's just a reverse pattern, which I always love the reverse pattern because you pull them back to go up the gears, and then you're pushing down to go down them. All my cars I've had reverse pattern manualised, so I'm used to it. And yeah, this one came. I wanted that. That was two prerequisites. The reverse pattern and also the horsepower rating, and then this one just came with the tram brake. So I thought, I'll give it a go. I suppose can't hurt, or maybe it can, depending on how the gearbox and everything else holds up. But yeah, I'll try the foot brake first, and just go off that and then see how it goes. But yeah, interior is pretty basic, but it does a job. I actually also replaced the front windscreen because it was a bit scratched and whatever. The rear windscreen, I pulled that out. I found that there was a bit of rust. There was a little bit of rust around, kind of just in the corners, just through here, these corners. So I pulled the rubbers out. I got all new rubbers, and got all new rubbers and basically painted all around there when I did the engine bay and underneath the bonnet. Just wanted to make sure that I kind of stopped that rust in its tracks early. I put some rust eater on it. I don't know what it's called, rust something. And put that on it. I'm no painter. This is the first time I've painted the engine bay and a bonnet before. I've never painted a car at all, any parts on a car. So yeah, but anyway, we'll see how it holds up. It's no show car, so whatever. So that's pretty much the build. Darren, also from DNK's Performance, he put this on this air intake, and that's off I think it's a Performance one off a VT Commodore or something. But yeah, it fit pretty good here, and what he did is drill some holes in this radio support panel so that the air can get through. Get through there. So we've got that, which is good, and that's letting a lot of air through. Another thing too, I've got a trans cooler which is underneath the car. It's kind of underneath the side here. Where is it? There it is. So it's trans cooler with a little fan on it, and that cuts in and out based on the temperature of the tran fluid. So that's all sorted there. I'll also put some. My mate reached out to Malcolm McIntosh. It's a good mate of mine. I've known him for about 20-25 years. He actually he had a VE wagon, used to run 10.8s. Amazing for that weight. And there was a 360, I think it was a Stroker 408. Yeah, heavy car, and he got that down to 10.8. Big kudos to you, mate. He gave me the wheels. So they're just Steelies. I think the fronts are 4.5 or 5 inch wide, and then the rears are 8s. Yeah, so they're 15 by 8, 15 by I think 4.5 or 5. So I got PSR. I put PSR 275s on, and they actually fit. But the problem is, I was going to leave the 275s on it, but the problem is the it was sitting up too high, and I wanted the rear end to sit down a bit lower because I like the rear end lower and then the top up high. So kind of sits like that. It's just personal choice. Like some people like it a bit of rake, and I like it the other way. I mean, it's pretty level anyway. It doesn't really sit too high, but I put 1 inch lowering blocks on the rear just to get the rear a bit lower, so it just kind of looks a bit cooler. So I went down to the 255s. Now, I don't think I'm going to get any more grip. Well, I would get a bit more grip on the 275s, but this thing should, if I have the rear end hooked up, the 255s should easily push this down the track. So it should grip. It just depends on the suspension setup, and that's something I've got to play with over time. So what else have I done? Oh, we've got an in-tank. I think it's out of a late model Commodore, an in-tank fuel pump. So yeah, Darren hooked all that up. Got it kind of fabricated in the original tank, and the reason why I didn't go fuel cell is because I wanted to keep the weight, and the fuel tank on these is right at the back here in the middle, and I wanted to keep that weight at the back instead of having a fuel cell, which a lot of people put up the front here, but then it takes moves the weight away from the back, which I didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave it kind of standard tank and also have a full tray so I can move furniture or whatever, do whatever I want to do with a normal ute. So yeah, so that's the other thing I did. Also, Darren just connected, he just hooked up the Caltrax as well. So I've got a set of Caltrax on there. For the leaf springs, that's pretty much a given, considering how fast this will go down the track. Hopefully get in the 10s. So we hooked that up. The diff was just the standard kind of Ford Explorer 8.8 diff center in it, and that was letting go. It was kind of spinning on one side, and every time I'd tramp it, it would turn me into like a traffic island or something like that, which is not cool. But so I end up getting the True Track put in it, and also the Caltrix at the same time. So ever since then, it's just like way better. Like you tramp it, pretty much goes straight. Just a different car to drive, and it feels a lot safer. To me, I like to tramp it and it goes straight. So I mean, like some people like to let it go a bit loose and whatever, which I'd rather go straight and be a bit more safer and just go fast. So yeah, so it's driving beautifully. Actually, it was Monday. I actually took it to Brian at Petters at G-Bung. The guy's a genius with wheel alignments and all things suspension. So I took it to him just to do a wheel alignment on it, and drives amazing. And big shout out to Brian for that. I've taken all my muscles cars to him. And he's always done an awesome job and drives heaps better now. So thanks, Brian. What else can I tell you about this car? I think that's about it. I think I've covered most of the things. It's actually, I've taken it for a few cruises up to Montville. It's like an hour each way, or a bit further than that, and it drives so nice. It's amazing. And to be honest, I love this LS. Just turn the key, the injection's great. Turn the key, boom. It loves to rev. I don't know, it must be just these LSs. I'm not used to them, but this thing just loves to rev. It's really super snappy. Actually, that's one of the other things I did, as I put the electronic throttle on it. So they come with a standard electronic throttle body, and so drive-by-wire they call it. And so I was gonna get another throttle body, but then Darren suggested to use the one that it kind of came out with, and I'm getting used to it. There was like a little bit of a delay, but they've retuned it recently, and it's definitely a lot better. So I'm used to it now. It's just like driving a new car. So that's the other thing that kind of wanted to talk about. I did, a bit of a clean up on the wiring. Nothing too much really, because Darren and the boys did a really good job on it. So there wasn't really a lot to do. And to be honest, I could probably clean it up a bit more just to hide things, but I'm not too worried. I'd rather have things accessible. So if anything goes wrong, I can get to things, And I'm not super anal about wiring, to be honest. So yeah, that's about it really. Like, if anybody has any more questions about the build, reach out. More than happy to help if you're doing the same type of thing, or if you want to know any information about any of the parts I've used, or the people that I've used, just reach out. It's always good to kind of get, I suppose, some knowledge from recent experience and get some tips and tricks, I suppose. Oh, another thing too, I've got this VE wagon bumper bar. Now, actually, I want to reach out to Michael Tamaris and his mate down south. So they're very hard to get. The VE wagon bars are, they seem to be one of the kind of more rarer bars to try and pick up. So I managed to get the bar. I actually had this little chrome bit here. It kind of bolts on. I had that bit just from a swap meet I bought like 7 years ago. I didn't even know why I bought it. It was just something Valiant, so I bought it. And the bar came without one. So I'm like, bloody hell, I'm sure I've got something like that. And I found it, and I'm like, it fits perfectly. So, and then I actually had to buy, I bought the bar, and then I had to buy the mounts separately, because the guy that was selling the bar didn't have the mount. So another guy, I bought the mounts off, and he was really awesome. Thanks mate for that. And so the reason why I bought this VE wagon bar is because these utes, they come out with what they call bumperettes, but they're basically just a bumperette, and then there's like a big section here that has no bar. But I want to actually put a bar across the whole back of the car. It might be a bit tricky, because I think there's a section there where I actually have to cut like the panels out, and once you go there, you can't go back pretty much. So I will commit to it, but just not yet. So I might do a bit of racing first, and then kind of cut it up. But it looks awesome. They look really, really good with the bar. I think they do. It's a personal choice. Other mates like the bumperettes. I just like a full bar on the front and the back. Kind of just looks a bit cool to me. So I think that's about it really. As I said, I'm going to be running some passes, and hopefully I get in the 10s. I reckon I will, but we'll see how we go. I mean, it all depends on the rear end. If the rear end hooks up, then perfect. So it's definitely got the horsepower. It's got the 460 at the tyres, so it's got the horsepower to run a 10. That'll be good. And I'll probably run it the way it is for a few years. Maybe thinking about possibly later on putting a supercharger on it. So the reason why I wouldn't go turbo and I'd rather go supercharged is because supercharged, you don't have that kind of turbo lag or build up when you're racing, whereas the supercharged is pretty much instant torque. Also, I don't have to redo the headers. So the headers are beautiful headers, and elite exhaust fabrications in Brendale. Amazing job. They sound really good too. Actually, that's another thing. Malcolm McIntosh, another big shout out to him. When he sold the wagon, he took his performance engine out and put more of a standard 360 in it. And because of that, he ended up pulling his exhaust out and putting a standard one in, because it's the exhaust is 3-inch, and standard engine you only need like 2.5 or something. So he had this. He was selling his exhaust, and the wagons have the same floor pan as the sedans and the utes. So I end up getting the exhaust from the headers back, and bought that off him, and then fitted up, and my exhaust shop kind of shortened the back so that it would suit the ute a bit more, and fitted up to the new headers. So it works a treat and sounds awesome. So thanks Mal. That's about it really. Like, it's yeah, it was pretty smooth sailing, really. I mean, I can say that because I didn't do the conversion. Poor Darren and the boys did, so there was a bit of frustration there, but it wasn't too bad. I don't think it was a massive drama for them. And yeah, it just drives so good. Like I'm very happy with it, and I built it to do drag challenge, and because it's a ute, you can throw as much crap in as you want. Your swags and tools and wheels and even mates stuff that they can't fit in their car. So yeah, I built it basically for that and a bit of racing and a little bit of cruising. So yeah, for me, it's pretty much perfect. So it's awesome. So anyway, reach out if you want any more info, and we'll run it by you. Oh, hang on, who's this? Wait a second. Hey Pete, how you going? Mopar Pete, how you going, mate? Come on in.
Hey, Hollywood, what's happening, brother? Mopar, no car. Hell yeah! Boom, 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 boom. What the hell, bros? What are you doing? An LS? In a Valiant? You've just ruined a classic, bros. You've ruined a classic. Oh, this would have been a sick car. You should have had a 440 or a 360 in this, man, and now you've just wrecked it. I reckon you'd be worth, what, 3-4 grand tops, bro. Tops. You just stuffed it, man. Like, so many people are going to give you so much crap. This would have been perfect for a 340 or a hot 265. Would have been a good car. Now people are going to give you crap left, right and centre. Hollywood, you've just stuffed it, dude. You should have been Mopar or no car, bruh. Mopar.